All right, let's start off this review with a breakout issue. This is the game against Lightning. So, the old bulldozer method by Alex. And, well, let's break it down. We have a play out. He does an excellent job, breaks down the play. Okay, and one thing I've also noticed more and more of, so Alex is right-handed. He never turns up ice this way. You'll always see him curling on his forehand. I think that is a weakness. You'll see it in every position, left wing, whatever, right wing. So let's say there's clear ice coming up this way. All he had to do was turn right. He'll always curl back around like this on his forehand. So that's just something for him to consider. Here's a perfect example. Boom, there's clear ice coming up. Just need a little shoulder check on his right hand side. Clear ice, clear up the ice, and he decides to forehand. Curl back around. Now, at this point, he should probably just settle it down, slow it down. There is a little bit of pressure, but look for where the passing options are. Middle is okay. We could also bounce it off the boards is okay. And if it's like super, like if you feel like it's crazy amount of pressure, you could also try to drop it back. But he actually has no pressure right now. You can see how the player actually routed out in front. So if he stopped up behind the net, would have been fine. He decides to power through the double forecheck instead of going around them. And therefore, boom, shot attempt on net. Not so good. So here's a sequence coming up. Some funny things, some interesting things. Break it down. So it starts off with them dumping it in. Now, obviously, it would be more effective if they had more speed for the whole team. But in any case, bounce up the wall. I like the play where Fee doesn't see an option, so she's skating it back down, right? And that's perfectly fine. What I don't like, she's holding on to it, it's great. She is the winger option, so we ultimately want the forward to start carrying it up. Problem is, she does all that hard work and then dips it off to Ray, who has all this pressure on him, versus all this space that she could have just skated up herself. And therefore, we gotta kill some time, pass it over to Kathy, and pass it back to Ray. Like, Alright, so we have some line changes, and not quite here. Defensively, so here comes the breakout. Everyone's coming in a little bit slower, but Alex opts. Yeah, so Rayhan and Jamie are coming back to the party a little bit slow, but that's like it's still okay. Alex is off the mark with the pass, and so it's a turnover and back into the zone. We go. Here comes the attack. Red tapes. Yeah, there's a little bit of trickiness right here for Jamie, and actually she does an okay job following along. So 15 is her responsibility. She recognizes it, just a little bit late to the party, but there is a chance there. So yeah, not bad. She's kind of tracking. So Alex gets the puck behind the net, perfectly fine. That's good. And then pass up to the winger. At this point, the ideal scenario is that, like, the moment, let's break it back. The moment that pass gets launched, so Jamie, let's rewind it a little bit more. So once you see, so for Jamie, once you see Alex has that puck, it's kind of like your cue to kind of start loading up and getting ready. You don't need to focus on the defense anymore. And that goes for every center. And you're just going to be getting ready to start skating up in either direction, depending on where that puck goes. And now if that goes to the right, this hand side, you're just going to go up, not quite where the face-off dot is and not quite up the middle. So if just to make it a little bit easier, let's say the puck goes up this way, then you'll just make a route coming up sort of like this. And to demonstrate why that is important, you can see how you're still kind of behind the net in the area where preferably probably want where Dave is. So then once that puck comes out the wing, we look around, and yeah, at this point, if Dave starts launching up, but preferably Jamie, then you see how this is a little easy lead pass and you skate right into it. And luckily for us, their D is actually a little bit aggressive too, so that would kind of launch you in for a nice little attack. In this instance, I saw nobody. It's getting closed off pretty quickly. I thought, let's launch it all the way to the other side. Couldn't quite get that pass cleanly, and so it's a bit of a turnover, so that's unfortunate. Let's continue. So they pass it across, force that pressure. Alex steps up and is able to launch it down. Now at this point, we want to see Rayhan and Jamie skating hard down the zone if they can. I know it's going to be a little bit of distance to catch up to, but if you get in the zone, join in the attack, it will be wonderful. I know it gets a little tiring. Alright, so these decisions by Ray and other defensive players, little bit sketch. The decision to cut the pass in front of the net, especially with forechecking pressure this close. If you're not able to get a clean pass, you're just asking for trouble, and trouble will come. Alright, this breakout's pretty good. So Alex curls up. He stops up behind the net. We've already said that was what he should have done the last time he did the bulldozer method. Feels pressure, curls back around. Amazing. So good. And then, rather than hanging up, he looks for the pass. And we've said with the center as well, once we see that happen, if they're prepping up the ice down the middle. So nice little lead pass, and we're off to the races. Except the only thing was their red tape was just a little bit faster than Jess. He wasn't able to get a good handle on it, but the breakout formation was what's important, and that was pretty good. So we got a pretty good rush by Alex. Identified the opportunity to get it deep in the zone. I think positionally everyone is good shape, and is Ernest defaulting to a nice triangle, B falling back a little bit, and then again what's good is if she's covering that right D portion, then coming down here is perfectly fine. So let's see how this is here for Janice. I would have preferred her to be, so I guess this is a tip for most forwards. If you can get yourself in this area of the ice, or let's actually draw it like this, but have your body facing this way, or with your hips kind of aligned towards the net. So rather than down here facing, you see how the body is facing this way. If you are perhaps more over here and your body is now facing this way, that puts you in a way better position to be able to kind of catch any shot and shoot. So all she would need to do is just back up a little bit, and that would put her in a way better position mechanically to shoot. And just like that, see how Fee has her body facing forward, and in this situation, boom, puck bounces over to her. Big opportunity right there, but bigger save by Vince. Alright, so I mean a lot of shots so far in this game by the red tapes. I'm not showing them all, but so we have to do the breakouts quite often. Again, this one's a little suspect. It's fine because there's nobody in front. So this is fine. So they make the decision to pass it in front of the net. I guess those are some of the cases where it's not so sketchy as we normally would. But at the same time, just be careful with it. It can also build bad habits, and it. What was that? I'll watch it again. Alright, let's watch it defensively. And it goes for a change. Oh yeah, turnover, nice. Alright, here's one. So Alex gets it, looks across, does an escape turn, which is excellent. And now visually you can see lots of space to work with. I don't know what happened. He decides to slow down and pass it. Where are you going to pass it to? You going straight through the pizza zone with 3 people inside there? Are you going to pass it? Oh my goodness. And what does that result in? Turnover and a shot on net. That's crazy talk here. We have a little bit of a rush right here. So Dave stops up behind the net, identifies that there's a little bit of pressure coming at them this way. He might have been able to ring it up to Fee, but understandably he decides not to. Maybe a chip over to Alex or a pass up to Carrie Ann may have been the more conservative play, but he says, you know what, let's make things exciting and go straight up the middle in front of Cliff, get his heartbeat pumping a little bit. Passes it over, joins in on the rush, so I like having all the forwards come in. We're on the attack right now. And here comes, you see how the body positioning I've mentioned, where as long as your body is facing this way, just a little bit easier to get the shot on. So you can see how Dave is struggling to get there, but Janice was there to get a good shot. And so not a bad opportunity right there. Alright, so we have a bit of a defensive adventure right here. Everyone's coming back late to the party. Kathy is able to break up a play, but oh my goodness, something's wrong when both of our defense is on one side of the ice and nobody is in front of the net. So that's a little suspicious. Oh my goodness. And it probably doesn't help that Cliff directs it right to their player as well. Ooh, a little scary. Alright, so I'm tired and just got off the plane because I've lined up on the wrong side of the ice. And then get a shot on net and you realize, oh, I'm on the wrong side of the ice. And then to make matters worse, when we line up, I'm on the wrong side of where I should be. I should be standing where Ray is. So that's a little bit of a goof up. Now, okay, we got the play that's going to be leading up towards our first goal of the game. Ray's busting up with speed, cuts to the middle, goes for a shot. Blocker save into the corner. He's able to continue down the ice. We got 2 forwards right in front of the net. Again, we can try to have your body position and facing this way. You'll be able to get the puck and shoot it more easily. And you know what? Rayhan actually is in a good spot. Jess is actually not bad either, but they just got closed off defensively. You can see lots of body parts. Ray was able to see there's a soft spot right here, and as the weak side, D just covering in for Ray because he stepped in. We're able to kind of sneak in and get the shot and score. Alright, I wanted to bring this one up because a lot of us sometimes go look for a diagonal pass like this. I think in general it's going to be better to go from left to right to Alex, and then from Alex up to Ernest, It makes it a much more clean path. Now, there's going to be a situation where from that left to right hand side, we see the forechecking pressure come in pretty quickly. So this option might actually get closed off pretty soon. And if that's the case, it's going to be usually the better play to move it back the other direction. And Dave can look for pass up to the wing or to the center. So you can see how, boom, it's quickly closed off, or checking pressure coming in. So Alex has really set Ernest up for failure, versus if we were able to just move it right back to Dave, right? Not too much pressure because this player is coming over here. We should be able to sort that out pretty easily. And so loose puck ends up being a turnover. Alright, this sequence pretty solid. So thankfully Sam decided to give the puck to us, so we say thank you very much. Kathy sees that nothing is giving me any options here. One forechecker, one forechecker. So a lot of us have, we do a little panic pass up, and then usually that's going to be missed, and then it's going to be a turnover. In this case, she turns around, and because Ray's also in a good spot, easy peasy, right? Just relieve the pressure, cross, no problem. Now at this point, Janice is doing alright, just need to continue going skating this way. We probably want to see another winger coming in, but let's see what Ray does. A pass up, dangerous. Probably wanted to come up here, but okay, no problem. Only thing is just slightly off the mark. Something to make it a little bit easier for you, Janice, is actually continue. Ooh, probably you see how you turn, but what I think is a little bit easier is actually you're gonna go like a little bit S curve, and then you actually catch it while still going this way, and once you got it settled down, then you do your turn or turn. But otherwise everything else was fine, just didn't get a good pass tape to tape. Alright, this was hilarious. So little trip over here, and then a shot, and then whoop. Bodies flying everywhere. And then, oh, big rush chance right here. Dave dekes out Vince and just gets it slightly behind Ernest by his feet. So it's unfortunate. Hard to have gotten that shot off, but it looked good. Alright, so we got a pretty long sequence coming up right here where we trade a few chances. Let's kind of break it down and see what we got. So I guess the first thing I want to say, we had a lot of people like net front. Again, I think it'd be better if just do a little shoulder check, try to space yourselves out. Again, right here, trying to cut that ice in half, get people concentrated on one side of the ice. It's my opinion, but here is one where they had a player right by the red line, and Kathy read she could get down there in time to pinch. This is a good read. Intercepted that and gets a good chance right there through a screen as well, but didn't score, and they clear it. And here comes the second chance from now the Lightning side, coming up here on this rush chance. Forehand, the cat drops back, and then a pass down and a tip in front. Now again, we've kind of talked about this before. Not a really good look when both of our D and our center is all on the one side of the ice. Now I would blame the D definitely more than the center for this one, but how can you leave the net front open like that? So let's break it down further. So Kathy's putting pressure. She should be following number 7 most likely, and then let Jamie come and cover that last one. And Ray's job is really focusing on what are these backdoor players doing. There's 4 attackers, so Carrie Ann's going to need to pick one of them as well to help out. And so let's see how this happens. Yeah, so that's a little bit too much concentration on these 2 players on the left. So if Jamie's got this one, and Kathy should have picked up this one, Ray should have picked up one of these guys, and Carrie Ann needed to stick closer, and therefore a lot of missed assignments, and therefore they get a pretty good chance right there. Now it's getting a little messy now but we're lucky because the period is over. So we got a bit of some oopsie daisies defensively right here. The first thing I can see right now is Carrie Ann's probably way too low being a right wing, but I won't fault her because she's been playing defense almost all season until now. So you can see that thing is we have left their D open because Carrie Ann needed to be up there. So lets a shot through and then some rebounds going on there. A little sketchy, but able to get it out of the zone. Here comes a rush. Kathy's joining in on the attack. Let's see. Oh no! A little knocked over. A little discombobulations. Kathy had a good chance there, but couldn't quite get anything to stick. So pretty decent sequence coming up. There's a couple things I think we can adjust. So number 1 right here is probably a mistake on my part, where we have the face-off win, but definitely as a winger I should have pressed down and gone to some of these areas to help out each other, and then let any puck movements go up to the D and let them handle that. Fortunately, we got gifted in the way that we were able to get the puck and bring it back down low. He's in a good spot to get that, and decided to bump it off up to the D. So I think an optionality, she could this was fine. That was fine. So Dave's really only got a couple options: send it back down low or send it across like that, cross corner dump. But here we have a little bit of a triangle position. So this is what we want to see. It's either that or somewhere it gets over here and then we form a triangle that way. But in this case, right here, we get a chance right here for Jamie. Now, one little adjustment for her is she's really close to the net, and sometimes she's able to like come in like this. So it's going to be almost like you're doing little laps. And so if you start down here, nothing played out. If we can actually rewind it a little bit, maybe too much. Right here, couldn't quite get it, right? And so if you see, sorry about that. So it's just going down, so you're going to do a little bit of a reset, come back down here, and then you're going to time it so that when she has the puck, you're going to be roughly, maybe more like here, cruising down like this. And then if nothing is coming and then the puck comes over on the left side, then you just shift more over here. So in your instance, you're more in the middle, planted, but you can try to cruise yourself, maybe more touching the circle. You might get a better chance in that manner. Here we get the puck up to Alex, gets rushed by Sam and gets the shot blocked. Well, that's not a big deal. But Sam does win the race defense on offense. Gets drawn, and because Jamie hasn't quite gotten back in time, we're just covering up for her. A little bit of a stick lift. Now the sequence continues. We're back on the counter attack. And I think this was just a rush chance more so than positional initially, but right here, going back into action. So I think, is that Fee or Jane? I think that's Fee. Alright. Get a couple chances right here. We should get a shot opportunity. Misses the net. And the funny part is, they've just left to go for a change. It's not a terrible idea because the puck's down low. Just unfortunately, no one covered for him. Just because Ray just got the shot, and then so puck sneaks out there, but there's no D, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Again, defensively, it's a little bit suspect when we have all of our D on one side of the ice. So Kathy's been doing a lot of chasing. In this case, it worked out fine, but slightly suspicious. Alright, so we got a slight banana peel. Jess is chasing it down and boop, falls backwards, possibly bonks her head. But play continues. Alex sells it down. Dave has it. Everyone's moving up as a unit. Jess has got it. Oh man, it was such a good controlled breakout. Unfortunately, we got another banana peel. Jess possibly slightly concussed. And the clip's done. Alright, we gotta highlight this one. Alex is zooming up. Bulldozer method, let's go. Dangles through everyone. Dangles through again. Oh my goodness. And then finally, B on the back door gets robbed again by Vince. Alright, so not quite here. Here we go. So Ray's coming in on the attack. Gets poked off, loses the puck, and we're back the other way. Double red tapes. We can't touch them until the red line, and one shoots it and scores. Dang it. It is now 1-1. Alright, we got a minute 30 left in this game. So far, it is a great game. 1-1 tie. If you've enjoyed it so far, please leave a like, leave a comment, share it, subscribe, everything under the sun. But in any case, we're back at it. A minute left. On the rush. Passes it. Oh no, offside. Offside. Oh goodness. See, this is this is exactly why I say don't pass it off like that, because you keep cruising, problems like that will occur. Better to just try to take it in the zone before you pass it off. Otherwise, just got to be aware about those offsides. In any case, probably about 40 seconds left in this game. Let's see what we got. What kind of action? We got Jess battling hard with the stick lifts. 45 seconds left in the game. Big pat. That was close. That was close. Oh, wow, wow. Good play. All right. A lot of back and forth. 30 seconds left. Yes, with the hustle. But a little bit loosey-goosey going on. Puck goes back down low. Alex has got it. He's going on the rush. 18 seconds left. What has he got in store for us? Dangling through. Dangling again. Curls back around. Button hooks. Jess has got it. And in a big tip in by Ernest. At this point, this guy is a goal-scoring machine. We're up 2-1. And unfortunately for the Lightning, this is basically a buzzer beater, and we have gotten the win. Big plays all around. A lot of hustle from Jess. 2-1 win for the Greenhorns.